now that we went, just a different girl. The way she looks at her life, the way she looks at who she is, her perspective, even going back into a white school this year because she's going to a performing arts school. She's just a different girl. She's like, man, there's just not enough black people here, but it's cool. I'm gonna get through it. Or that she's gravitated towards the excellent black kids, or just like having that perspective. I want to go to Howard. We're in ninth grade. We got to start preparing for that, right? So I would just say to this I wish that mother would have gotten exposure to just know that like all girls don't twerk, all black girls don't twerk, and all have babies before at 14. I don't know, whatever perspective that because people say the
Stereotype.
weirdest things about black women.
Stereotype. The word is
The
stereotype.
stereotypes. Yes, thank you.
You know,
Whatever stereotypes.
I'm glad that you said that, because I always try to raise my kids no matter where we were and give them a different perspective. Access and proximity is everything. And even if
matters.
you are in the ghetto, get them out the ghetto. I remember talking to a group of young men. They were it was for, this program called Fathers and Families. They were formerly incarcerated, and they had not been out of this certain section of Stockton, California. So when they finally took them to dinner 10 miles away in central Stockton at this restaurant, they didn't even know how to use a fork. They had only been in their neighborhoods at McDonald's, never been to a formal restaurant. And to think, my kids at Ruth Chris at 3 years old, 4 years old, ordering their own food, right? Giving them that experience. And even it doesn't even have to be Ruth Chris, it could be Olive Garden, but just giving them those different experiences. I always try to take, instead of taking my kids to amusement parks like this young lady did, I always took my kids to museums. We took them to the beach. We took them to the redwoods. We took them to see art. We tried to expose them to different things outside of video games and just the normal things. That way, because with my daughter, what I would always tell her, and I love this for her because she's not necessarily attracted to attractive boys. And I'd be like, I wouldn't date him. I like, I'm pretty vain. But she looks at, character first.
The content of the character.
Which is what I taught her. Right? I taught her to look at character.
I taught her that.
But I'm like, okay.
You have to think about your future babies, though.
That part. But
Yeah,
what I
that's
do
funny.
teach them is if you hold yourself to a higher standard, that's what you're going to attract. And so your kids are not going to attract the twerkers if they hold themselves to a higher standard. But here's what I also seen too is when I've heard black people say, well, my kids, they real smart, so they only like white girls. I cringe. I melt in the corner when somebody told me that their kids are so smart that they can't date black people. Like, we are just dumb. Like, their IQ is so high. I've heard somebody say that. Like, that is just the most asinine thing. Like, you are a self-hating Negro and don't even know. My son, when he was in 8th grade, he said my biggest thing that what did he say? The thing I fear the most in life is that I won't be successful. He told me that when he was in 8th grade. We were sitting in my office. He said, my biggest fear in life is that I won't be successful. It's because those standards, he wasn't that kid that said, my biggest fear is I ain't gonna make it to 21. That's not his reality. But it's because of that access and proximity that I had showed him was success. I impressed that upon him.